Does Kamma condition our life at all times? If so, how? In what manner? These questions look like very simple, yet is very meaningful questions to all of us. The second question is, what are the benefits occurring from the day-to-day observance of Panchasila, 5 precepts? Did I discuss this? Already discussed, isn't it? So only one question, but this is more than enough to talk few hours. You might have heard a lot and read about karma. I'm sure. Still, you have no clear picture of this, the most important Buddhist, say, one of the main pillars in Buddhism. Although I have studied for more than 50 years, still my understanding of karma also not perfect. Still there are certain doubts. Doubts mean which I cannot understand. And certain things are not very clear. By knowing this situation, the Buddha has mentioned that there are 4 issues that we never gain clear picture of these 4 subjects. As long as we remain as worldlings means worldly people, we never get. To a certain extent, we learn something, that's all. Can you remember those 4 items? One thing is Kamma. We never get the clear picture of this subject. What is Kamma? Or what it is, where it is, how it functions. Second one, what is the second item? Not exactly origin, because there is no origin. So that subject is not under this category. The nature of living beings that exist in this whole universe, why do they appear like this? When we observe their nature, the formations, characteristics, colors, attitude, very difficult for us to account. Of course, anything that we cannot understand, the easiest answer that people give is created by God, that's all. Then we can stop all our questions. But intellectuals cannot satisfy with that answer. They want to know further details. The third one is, what is the third one? World. The nature of the world system. The formations of different world systems and planets and galaxies and suns and moons and various other formations. No one can give clear explanation why they appear like this and what is the purpose of their existence. Fourth one, Buddha. The nature of the Buddha's enlightenment we cannot understand. We have our own measurement. We guess, but we do not know. To many people, the Buddha is a great philosopher, great thinker, very intelligent religious teacher, very good master, a holy man. That's all. They know only that much. But enlightenment is an entirely a different issue. That is why it has taken such a long period for him to gain this enlightenment. So our mentality or our understanding capacity is very low. What we do today, we try to introduce or produce instant enlightenment. No need to work such a long period, not necessary to practice paramitas or perfections or great qualities or virtues, not necessary to eradicate all evil forces. Instant. Just recite something, the name of a Buddha or a mantra, or do something, you get instant enlightenment. After that, you will be in nirvana. So nice, Instant, like instant coffee, instant tea, instant enlightenment, instant marriage and instant divorce. This is the nature of instants. So these are the four main issues that we cannot understand fully as long as we remain as worldly people, because our minds are clouded, deluded, misled. So simply by using very limited five senses and limited understanding in our mind, we measure certain things, but we never get the complete answer or the picture. Therefore, you should not get fed up. When we talk, when we explain the nature of karma, however, karma is not belong to any particular religion. Karma is not a property of Buddhists or Hindus. Karma is not limited only to human beings. Every living beings, whether they are humans or devas or brahmas or animals or spirits or ghosts or devils, exist in this universe because of their karma. If they have no karmas, they cannot exist anymore. Just like a motor car and petrol, oil. Your engine does not work if there is not enough petrol in your car. Stop. So the oil is our karma. Engine is our life. So this engine runs as long as petrol remains there. Otherwise, stop automatically. After gaining his enlightenment, the Buddha has mentioned that his mind is completely empty. That means no more fresh karmas that he can create in his mind. Earlier he never uttered such words. That means he never produced either good karmas or bad karmas, because he has completed his journey. And karmas are useless to him, although to us they are important to run. Since he has stopped this completely, so he has nothing to do with karmas. Visankhara gatam chittam. No more sankharas in his chitta, in his mind. What is sankhara? Wholesome and unwholesome, or good and bad, karmic forces that we are going on accumulating every minute in this life, during our past, as well as in the future also, we will continue this. So karma is the most important aspect or the factors in our life for our existence, and also for us to experience pleasant and unpleasant life. Karma is responsible for that. But karma is not the only force, only factor that which condition or produce a life. To some people, God is responsible for creating a life. In the same manner, many Hindus and Buddhists maintain a belief that karma is the only force which generates this way of life. But remember, karma alone cannot do that. Needs some other support, internal and external. And this belief was rejected by the Buddha, that there is only one cause for our existence. There were three kinds of concepts. Switch on the hot. Remember, eka hetu and ahetu, two end. The Buddha has rejected both. There is only one cause for our existence, referring to God. God is the only cause, first cause. So we exist here because of God. The Buddha did not acknowledge this belief. Then there were some others, or there are some others, who maintain that there is no cause behind. Ahetu, no cause. We exist here in this world accidentally. It's a coincidence. When certain elements and forces combine together, accidentally, life come into existence. Otherwise, there is no cause behind. There is nobody to plan. This is the nature of our existence. This belief also rejected by the Buddha. Then he says, not only one particular cause. There are so many causes, so many factors, so many elements, so many energies. Now the Buddha's doctrine, his concept. So we cannot depend on one particular God or only on our karma or elements as scientists and materialists accept. To them, only elements and energies. Elements and energies cannot produce a life. So the karma also cannot produce a life. All these things must join together, combine, cooperate. So the life is the byproduct of the combinations of internal, external elements and energies and factors. Remember, this is the Buddha's interpretation. 5 of them, I think you have learned. Pancha Niyama Dharma. 5 factors which are responsible for our existence. Now what are those 5? We have been repeating and repeating. So what are those 5? Then you can understand this life never come into existence due to one particular cause or due to one particular God or due to our own karma. There are many things. Amongst those many things, 5 of them are prominent, salient features. What are those 5? Yes, start. Right? Pardon? You are going another way. That is another track. You got in the wrong track. Just now I mentioned already Pancha Niyama Dharma, 5 factors which are responsible for our existence. How many hundreds times I have explained these 5 here in this place? 3. I know my mind is not like your mind. That means you have so many commitments and responsibilities and duties and obligations and worries. Therefore, it is not so easy for you to concentrate only these things. In my case, I have more time to concentrate on dharma and various other things. Therefore, I can forgive you. Can you remember? Pardon? That's right, 5 conditions called Pancha Niyama Dharma. What are those 5? No? Yes. Pali names you cannot remember, it doesn't matter. Chitta Niyama, Kamma Niyama, Uttu Niyama, Bija Niyama, Dhamma Niyama. I am repeating. These are the 5. The first one is Chitta. There must be a mental energy. Without a mental energy, all the other factors and sources and elements cannot condition a line. First one. For all the other things that which exist like plants and various other things, the mental energy is not the important factors there. Because in their case there is no continuity of the same unit. But in our case there is a continuity. That is why the mental energy is important. Alright, next one. Before I answer this question, I had to prepare the ground for you to understand this. The next item is karma. So that means karma is one of the factors, but not the only factors to produce a line. Karmic energies are nothing but accumulated, wholesome and unwholesome mental energies. Easy to remember. Karmic force is nothing but accumulated, wholesome and unwholesome mental energies. In other words, polluted mental energies. I can use this word polluted for good karma as well as for bad karma. By accumulating good karmas, we pollute the purity of the mental energy. What is the meaning of good karmas? The good deeds that we perform with the intention of experiencing or gaining good life, pleasant feeling, happiness, prosperity, long life, healthy life, based on craving. Craving is there. If craving is there, pollution also there. So we regard this as mental pollution. That is why we cannot find such karmas amongst the Arahantas, Buddhas and Pacceka Buddhas, because they have no craving. They have no mental pollution, pure mind from the very beginning. Bad karmas, of course, naturally pollute the mind. Actions created by polluted mind. Then again we pollute the mind, aggravate the situation. This is called karma. So we continue life process again and again. We appear in this world or in any part of the world because of this karmic energy. Then the other factors cooperate and support for that existence. The second factor. Third one, mental energy and karmic forces cannot produce a life without depending on external elements and energies. Their cooperation is important. You know the nature of elements. You know the nature of cosmic energies, external energies. So there are three. So mental energy, karmic energies are internal energies. The other three are external energies. So what are those three? Bija, germinal order or seed. There must be some sort of germ somewhere. Otherwise, karma cannot produce a life. Then, fourth one is season, the time period. This is also external or cosmic energy. We cannot understand how this season contributes to condition many things here in this world. Certain flowers, fruits can be seen only during certain period or sometimes only once a year. Why? What is the reason? We cannot give the reason. Only answer that we can give is season, the time. Conception in the mother's womb also takes place during a certain period. Certain factors must be ready. Otherwise, no conception. Last one is more complicated. Very difficult to understand. We can see how they appear, but we do not know why they appear like this. So when we cannot understand why they appear like this, as I mentioned earlier, the easiest way for us to explain, account this is God creates like this. That's all. After that we can stop all our arguments. Now if we give scientific interpretation, then there may be hundreds and thousands of questions. So this concept of God, belief in God, is the only answer to shut up our mouth. Otherwise, he never do that. You can say it is not your business. God knows why he want to create like this. After that, you have no say. Don't ask why. He knows why. Then we say, we do not know whether he exists or not. We cannot see him. Don't worry. No doubt, you cannot see him, but he can see you. They have their ready-made answer. So your duty is to listen, obey. That is enough. So what is this word, Dhamma? There are many meanings. Here we get entirely a different interpretation. Dhamma and Dhammata. There is another word, Dhammata. Natural phenomena. Natural occurrences. There is no any other word that we can use. If not, you see, it is natural. When certain incidents, occurrences, changes, appearance take place, we say, oh, they are natural. But we cannot give any interpretation because we cannot understand. That is how this concept of God appeared in the man's mind at the beginning. Earlier, this concept was not there in our mind. We had no religions at the beginning, but we developed and introduced humanism, not religion. Humanism means humane qualities, duties, responsibilities, respectable life, harmony and understanding, cooperation, humanism. Differentiate from animals' way of life. Later, when the concept or the belief of God or divinity, divine power, injected into humanism, religions appear. We promoted humanism into religion by inviting the God, the concept of God into this humanism. Otherwise, earlier they have realized that killing or destroying others' life is wrong. Stealing, bluffing, swindling, all these things are wrong. Sexual misconduct also wrong. Telling lies also wrong. They knew all these things. So this news we did not get from heaven. It's in our humanism. We knew all these things. But later, we introduced them as a law or the commandments, orders given by God. Then people listen because of fear of punishment. Otherwise, man never listened to this. The Buddha's way of advising people is very passive. That means without enforcing any punishment or law, he says, how nice if you can keep away from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, telling lies, and all the bad and immoral things. Now this is the language. He did not say that if you do this, if you violate this, I punish you. Now that is not his language. Now see the difference now. He wanted us to understand, because we had to learn and consider and think seriously why these things are wrong. Without creating fear. After that, we decide to harmonize, to cooperate with other living beings, exist together without disturbing them, without destroying them, not because of punishment. This is Buddhism. So this concept of God appeared in the man's mind when man could not understand this nature, this dharma. There must be some sort of supernatural governing force to control, to manipulate all these elements and energies. Otherwise, everything will be in a chaotic condition. So God is responsible for that. To plan, put in order. Yes, when you use your normal way of thinking, you can understand, yes, quite possible. There must be something. When you think further and further and further, develop your way of thinking, then there will be a lot of contradiction where you cannot agree. So Dhammata, Dhamma Niyama, natural phenomena, means some sort of energies influence all the other living things and anything that which exists. Then take different shape, different colors, then beautify, multi colors, flowers, butterflies, peacock, birds, animals. When you look at them, study very carefully. Look at the skin of a python or snake. What a wonderful design. That is what they say, God has done this. That is His work. Butterfly, flowers, then fragrance. The shape. If there is nobody behind all these things. How these things appear like this? There must be someone to plan. Why our mouth is here? Who put it here? Do you think automatically? How can we say automatically? There must be some intelligent force behind. Then another person asked, if there is someone to fix our mouth here, why he did not fix another mouth here behind? This is the problem. When they say, God has created our heart, going on pumping from our birth up to the last breath, only organ which function without stopping even 1 second. All the other organs can stop for some time, but not this one. If anything happened to this, all the other organs also collapse. Then people ask, now if he can create 2 lungs, 2 kidneys, what is the difficulty for him to create 2 hearts? When one heart becomes out of order, the other one can start, like generators in the hospitals and the airport. What is the difficulty? Why it is impossible? These are the problems. So there must be reasons. Therefore we cannot depend on one particular person to think that it is his plan. So Buddhism used only one word, that is called Dhammata. This is the nature, the phenomena, natural occurrences due to known and unknown forces behind. There are so many unknown things, invisible, unimaginable. But when we collect all these things together, then we can mold the concept of God. All these existing energies, elements, forces, as one unit. So we can use the word God. Again, when we define this word Dhamma, although we do not transform, mold the image of God, the same activities we can find the Dhamma as well as the God. The only difference is those who try to introduce God transform all these energies into a figure, into a person, but accept as energies, then use one word, phenomena, nature, dharma. Now these are the 5. So when all these 5 factors join together, cooperate, then the outcome of it, life come into existence. When once it appeared, then who maintain this? Who support this? Who is responsible to carry on? And why changes take place without our knowledge? Or many changes which we don't like, take place without our knowledge. Although we have not done any mistake, these are the things that we cannot understand. So this question is, does karma condition our life at all time? Alright, this is one part. So this question is, does karma condition our life at all time? Alright, this is one part. The answer is yes. As long as we exist, karma is the governing factor, most important energy in our life, just like oil in our motor car engine to run this engine. Karma must be there. No more karmic energies. Then what will happen? That particular existence, that particular life, or the physical body will collapse. So that visible object as life or the physical body dissolve, disintegrate, separate. But the extinguished, evaporated karmic energy is only for this life. But behind this, in our storehouse of consciousness, there are so many karmic energies. Then start the engine again. Example, a baby immediately after a childbirth dies. It is a life. Now what is the fate of this baby? Now we say rebirth or existence again take place according to our good and bad karma that we have committed within this life. If that's so, then what is the fate of this child? Because this child had no chance either to commit bad karmas or to accumulate any good karma. Here, from the Buddhist point of view, in the subconscious mind of that baby, there are more than enough good and bad karmic forces. Could not use for this lifetime, because the generative, the productive karma is weak. You understand? Rebirth has taken place as human being, but not enough good karmas or bad karmas to continue that particular human life up to the maximum lifespan. That is why it's already collapsed. Then many other karmic energies which are deposited in the subconscious mind come forward. If they are good karmas, then another existence take place either as human beings or somebody else. If they are bad karmas, then another existence take place either as animals or any other forms of living being that cannot be a pleasant one. This is the nature of karma. So karma is responsible for the continuity. This karmic energy follows us just like our shadow. Wherever we go, shadow also follows us, never stop. Chaya anapayini, the Buddha saying. Chaya, shadow, follow just like our shadow. We cannot stop. We can say we don't believe karma. It's not necessary to believe, it is natural. You can say according to our religion we don't believe in karma, not necessary to believe. Karma is not limited or confined to one particular religious group. Every living beings accumulate karma. There are three forces. Every living beings maintain craving for living, craving for pleasure. Humans and animals and even mosquitoes and flies and ants also have craving for existence. They too have craving for pleasure according to their way of life. They also attack others for their survival or because of fear, or to satisfy some sort of pleasure, to gain some sort of happiness. So we have craving for pleasure, craving for survival, and we do so many things for our pleasure, craving for pleasure. And we have ignorance to maintain these two, support. As long as we maintain these three forces, we cannot stop producing of karma, productions of karma. So belief is not important. So Arahantas and the Buddhas cannot create karmas because they have no craving for survival, they have no craving for pleasure, they have completed their journey. For us, karmas are important for this worldly life, for our battle. We use our karmas as weapons in the battlefield for our protection, to support us. We are going on fighting and fighting and fighting for a world by using our karmas, by taking different shape. Human beings, devas, or brahmas, animals, or spirit forms, karmas are behind. Now that is the answer to the first part. If there is no karma, no existence. We have to stop it. If we crave for existence, karma is there. Second part, if so means, does karma condition our life at all time? If so, how? This is rather a difficult question to answer. How? how this karma influence, contribute to maintain our life, our existence, our pleasant and unpleasant feeling, fortunate and unfortunate situation. Many of these things take place due to our own karma. Yes. Again, when you study further, the Buddha says, in Anguttara Nikaya, Sutra Pitaka, he says, you should not think all your pleasant and unpleasant experiences or changes in your life are due to your previous good and bad karmas. That means we should not think all these happenings in our life are due to our previous karma. That is what many people say. What to do, this is our karma. Some others say, what to do, this is will of God. There is no difference. Same concept. The Buddha did not encourage this. Now this is the advantage in the Buddha's teaching, which we cannot find in other existing religions at that time in India. Because all the others advised their followers to surrender themselves to their karma. Just like surrender to God. The Buddha says, don't surrender yourself. You can fight with your karma. This you cannot learn from another religion. By using your effort, energy, intelligence, wisdom, by cultivating more and more virtues, purity in your mind, you can topple, you can overcome many of those bad effects of the karmas that you have committed. See? That means we should not keep quiet. We should not surrender ourselves, thinking, oh, that is our karma, no hope. We can fight. Not as a fool, but intelligently, wisely, we can fight with our karmas. Again, many of those changes and occurrences and incidents take place due to various other reasons, not only karmas. So we cannot blame only karmas for that. Natural forces, wind, rain, sun or heat, these forces can create a lot of changes in our life. Environment can change our life, can create dangerous sicknesses for us to suffer. So these are external sources which can change our way of life So many of them have nothing to do with our karmas. Again, our stupidity, ignorance, our negligence or laziness, our misconceptions, wrong ideas, also can create a lot of disturbances or disaster which have nothing to do with our previous karmas. If you are very lazy, if you don't want to use your efforts and energy, if you don't want to do something, and if you are leading a very miserable life, can you blame your karma? You are responsible for that. So the Buddha is called Karma Yogi. Karma Yogi means a religious teacher, most energetic, active, but not very passive and lazy religious teacher. Very active. Always encourages people to use their effort and energy and knowledge and intelligence. Now. So how? Now you can understand. How many causes, how many reasons, how many factors are there? So karma is one of them. Of course it is the most important thing, no doubt. Because certain things we cannot change, even by using our full effort, if they are due to very strong karmic forces. Certain sicknesses. We can spend millions of dollars, devote whole life to get rid of our sickness. But we feel it's impossible. Such cases we can regard as karmic energy, karmic force, karmic effects are responsible for that. That is what that well-known American doctor, Dr. Edgar Casey, mentioned, studied more than 20,000 cases in America through his psychic power. He could manage to cure by prescribing certain medicines to many of those who suffer from various sicknesses. To some others, he said, this sickness is incurable. Because this is the effect of your bad deeds that you have committed during your previous birth. He was not a Buddhist. But when he got into trance, used his psychic power, he explained, this is the truth. Then the next part is, in what manner yes, our behavior, our knowledge, our understanding, our wisdom, at the same time, our laziness, our stupidity, our ignorance, our immoral practices, wicked and cruel ideas, all these attitudes contributes either to aggravate the karmic effect or to bring down, calm down, to reduce, to minimize many of these karmic effects. See the way how Buddha has explained this. There's a well-known saying in Sanskrit language, Nahi suptasya singhasya pravisanti mukhe mriga. Lion in the jungle is the most energetic and active animal. But if that animal, although he is very energetic, always spend his time sleeping, animals never come and enter into his mouth. Just because he's a very powerful animal. He must go out for hunting animal. Then only he can catch. In the same way, although we have accumulated good karmas, if we do not use our effort and energy and knowledge and wisdom, we won't be able to experience the good result. Now this is the nature of karma. On the other hand, although we have some good karmas, if we abuse our human intelligence by spending our life, using our life as a lazy man, stupid people, neglecting our duties and responsibilities, we won't be able to experience the good result. Again, if our bad karmas are very strong, very powerful, whatever precaution we take, we won't be able to escape the bad effect. Suraksitang daiva hatang vinasyati. Although we use our full effort to protect ourselves, our life, our property, if our karma is bad, no one can protect us. If karma is very bad. But on the other hand, there are certain bad karmas that we have committed. We can overcome them if they are not very strong by using our effort and knowledge and wisdom. Now you can understand. The Buddhist concept of karma is very practical, very meaningful, very reasonable. No one can blame or accuse. Natural forces are working with this karma. This is the answer, 3 sections of this question. Does karma condition our life at all times? I explained. If so, how? I have explained already. In what manner? Just now I explained. I think enough. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva cirang rakkhantu loka sasanang ittavata ca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Devo asatu kalena sassa sampatti hetu ca phito bhavatu loko ca raja bhavatu dhammiko idango jnati nang hotu sukita hontu jnatayo imina punya kammena mami bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya.
Mangala Gatha. The meaning of these gathas or stanzas is victory or blessing. These gathas have been composed by a disciple of the Buddha in the Pali language, explaining how the Buddha could manage to gain his enlightenment by using his great virtues and perfections in spite of various obstructions, and also how he could manage to gain victory by controlling and taming wicked and cruel human beings, cannibals, and even animals through his great compassion and wisdom. There are 8 stanzas here, and all these stanzas explain certain incidents which have taken place during the Buddha's lifetime. In Theravada Buddhist countries, the devotees have great confidence in these stanzas, and it has become a religious custom to recite these stanzas on any auspicious occasions such as wedding, reception, housewarming, and other functions. Before the commencement of the ceremony, they arrange to recite these Pali Gathas by 8 well-trained children, mostly girls, accompanied by music. They believe that by reciting these religious stanzas, they can create a religious atmosphere in order to get the blessing. This is the way how they recite these gathas in Sri Lanka. The meaning: creating 1,000 hands with weapons, armed, was Mara seated on the trumpeting, ferocious elephant Girimekala. Him, together with his army, did the Lord of Sages subdue by means of generosity and other virtues, by the grace of which may joyous victory be mine. The story related to this son, Mara the tempter, had determined to prevent the Bodhisattva from gaining Buddhahood. He was known as Bodhisattva because he had not yet attained Buddhahood. From the time he made his renunciation, Mara had been looking for every opportunity to obstruct and disturb the Bodhisattva in his efforts to become a Buddha. On many occasions, he approached the Bodhisattva and tried to tempt him for worldly things and tried to mislead him. When the Bodhisattva was seated under the Bodhi tree for meditation, Mara came with his army and challenged him and threatened him. At the beginning, the Bodhisattva remained quiet. Mara said, "It is impossible for him to attain Buddhahood," and asked him to get up and go back. Then the Bodhisattva said, "I have no craving for this life. Death in this kind of battlefield is better for me than living in defeat. So many sages and ascetics have been tempted and disturbed by you, but you are powerless to disturb me. I can conquer you and your powerful army with my wisdom. Weapon of wisdom is more powerful than any other weapon. All your weapons will become blunt in front of my wisdom. Come, seize and bind him," ordered Mara to his army. "He does not know that he is a worm in front of me." After that, he created blazing shower to fall. Then he created blinding snow and threw many thunderbolts. He used all the available weapons that he had to attack the Bodhisattva. But he found that this ascetic was still sitting there with a smiling face. He shouted again and threatened to cut his heart into pieces. With utter compassion, the Bodhisattva looked at him and said, "I have come here to point out deathless happiness to mankind, and I will never give up this place until I gain that enlightenment. I have been working for this in many previous births. This very earth knows the nature of effort that I have made, and how I sacrificed my worldly things to gain this wisdom." So saying, he pointed his right hand towards the ground. Then the earth shook and great noise arose. Then Mara and his army were scattered like dust, thrown up by a storm. After that, he could manage to concentrate peacefully and attain his enlightenment. Similar stories we can find in other religions also. Therefore, Some intellectuals believe that this battle is only an expression of how Bodhisattva had to fight with his own mental defilements to eradicate them from his mind, to gain the mental purity and enlightenment. Attaining Buddhahood is the most difficult task in this world. The person who tries to attain this highest stage of life must practice perfections, virtues, morality, and disciplines to be perfect. After fulfilling all those good qualities, purification of the mind, and development of knowledge and wisdom, he can gain that enlightenment, but not by praying to anybody or receiving a message from anybody. Here, in this stanza, we can see a word, munindo. The original word is muni. That means a sage. Instead of using the word Buddha, in many countries people say Sakya Muni, meaning sage of the Sakya clan. There are so many other words to introduce the Buddha, such as Tathagata, the religious teacher who appeared in this world and who has gone away from this world after serving mankind, just like the previous Buddha. Bhagava, the exalted one. Sugata, one who has gone beyond the mundane world after fulfilling his mission. Sabanyu, all-knowing one. Dhammaraja, the king of the Dharma. Samantachakku, one who got eyes to see everything in this universe in proper perspective. Maharaji, the conqueror of Mara. Narasiha, king or the lion of mankind. Samma Sambuddha, supreme enlightened one. Lokaguru, the teacher of the world. Lokavidu, knower of the world. There are several names, and each name conveys the great quality, virtue, or greatness of this holy teacher. In this stanza, we can find the word Dhanadi Dhamma. Here it explains how he could manage to subdue Mara, the evil one, by the virtue of 10 perfections that he practiced during his births. Those perfections starts from Dana. That is why it is mentioned here. Dana di Dhamma. Dana means charity. Charity and other perfections. They are Dana, charity, Sila, morality, Kamma, renunciation, Panya, wisdom, Virya, effort, Khanti, patience, Satya, truthfulness. adittahana, determination, metta, loving kindness, upekha, equanimity. These are the 10 perfections that he developed to gain this Buddhahood. These are the weapons he used to conquer Mara and his army. That is why he is called Maraji, one who has defeated Mara. He practiced these 10 paramitas or perfections in 3 ways, such as paramita, upaparamita, and paramatta paramita. Now let us take the first paramita, dana or charity. First, he practiced this perfection by giving away his property or external things. Then, he donated certain things from his own body, such as blood, eyes, flesh, and so forth. This kind of charity he had done in many of his previous births. Finally, he sacrificed his whole life for the sake of his good principles and for the welfare of others. These are the 3 ways how he practiced those 10 paramitas or perfections to attain Buddhahood. Now, I think you can understand that becoming a supreme enlightened Buddha is a gradual development. No one can gain this highest achievement of human life unless and until he serves for the welfare of others at the beginning. After that, cultivate his morality by keeping away from all the evil practices. This is also a service to mankind. Then he must sacrifice his worldly comforts for the sake of others. After that, he must cultivate his good, humane virtues and train the mind. After training his mind, he must develop it and try to remove the impurities. When there are no defilement in that mind, only then will real knowledge, wisdom, and realization appear in that mind. When all these things are completed, real enlightenment or Buddhahood is gained, but not by praying to anybody or receiving any message from heaven or from external sources to gain Buddhahood. The power is within the man, and he must develop it. The aim of gaining Buddhahood is to serve mankind by showing the correct path in getting physical and mental sufferings. And only after fulfilling this duty would he attain the final salvation, nirvana. This selfless service is the highest service to mankind. There are 3 ways to attain this final salvation or nibbana. They are by becoming an arahant, or by becoming a Pachikka Buddha, or by becoming a supreme enlightened Buddha. To attain arahanthood, a person must also practice those 10 perfections. But it is not necessary to complete them in 3 ways as mentioned earlier. Only after eradication of mental defilement will arahanthood be gained. To attain Pacceka Buddhahood, a person must complete those 10 perfections in 2 ways as mentioned.